Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Ashton. Today we are going to be talking about a lot of the potential NBA playoffs here coming soon. And I didn't really talk about this. If I have time, I'll mention the Chiefs draft. I'll probably give it an overview and just leave it at that and give a grade on it of what I thought the NFL draft for the Chiefs was. So I'll get right into the NBA playoffs here real quick. So Damian Lillard, the Portland Trailblazers, they just took over. So all the NBA teams pretty much have played all 8 of their games, and now we're going into the playing game. Well, last night Damian Lillard was technically the 9th seed, and they got the win over the Nets by Karis LeVert missing the go-ahead game winner, and it was 134-133 last night. Portland won, and Karis LeVert went off for 37, and this Portland team is extremely, extremely good. They are so talented on offense. It's like I feel like I'm watching the Chiefs back in the Alex Smith days where they were really high-powered offensively but couldn't stop anybody defensively. And it was just like because they really can't stop any, like they play no defense. And to win the game last night, they had to stop Karis LeVert, and CJ McCollum made a play on Karis LeVert, and about a minute to go, Damian Lillard stole the ball from Karis LeVert. So they play a little bit of defense, but they don't play defense consistently throughout the game. They just play defense in key situational moments, which I guess they'll get it done. And as long as the others keep stepping up on offense, it's going to be okay. But that's going to be a problem if the Lakers, if they play the Lakers in the first round, because the Lakers play defense. The Lakers are a well-rounded team, even though they've struggled in the bubble, going 4-4. Actually, no, I think they went 3-5. But the Lakers are not going to just let the Portland Trailblazers go off offensively. They're going to make the Portland Trailblazers stop Anthony Davis, stop LeBron James. Last time I checked, Carmelo can't do either of those things. Nurkic can't do either of those things. The only thing I can think of for the Portland Trailblazers defensively that goes well for them is Hassan Whiteside blocking shots. That's kind of it. And that's a once-in-a-blue type moon type ordeal, even though he's a top shot block shotter in the league. He didn't really do it a whole lot last night, that from what I saw, so I'm just making you aware. But if I hadn't said it before, the NBA playoffs are starting here soon. I'm saying that for my mom, just to make sure I said it in clear for you. And so, yeah, she gave me a hard time that the NBA wasn't that I didn't make it clear enough for her that the NBA hadn't started their games yet. And I was like, well, I thought I did say that the Lakers and Clippers were playing, so I guess I didn't make it clear enough. But the NBA is back, Mom. You're good now. That's your cue. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to the task at hand. So Portland took over the 8th seed last night. The Grizzlies, they went 2-6 in this bubble. If they went 4-4, they would have locked up the 8th seed, but they didn't. And Memphis, they hadn't really played all that well in the bubble. and they slipped to the ninth seed. And Devin Booker and the Suns, I mean, my gosh, you talk about going off in the bubble. Nobody, not a single person on planet Earth would have predicted going into this bubble. Oh yeah, the Suns are going to go 8-0 and potentially compete for the playoff spot. Everybody was like, why are the Phoenix Suns in the bubble? And I guess they were in contention, but now I really want to see them battle it out for the ninth spot. So I was just talking to Pastor Andrew about this, but I want them to compete for that ninth spot. So I want to see the Grizzlies and the Suns played out for that ninth seed. So, and just like have a single elimination game. Whoever wins that game would go on to face the Portland Trailblazers for that playing game for the eighth seed. So how the playing game for the eighth seed works, just to make this all very clear, I thought it was just a single elimination game. It is not. It is potentially a 2-game, possibly it could span into 2 games. So for the 8th seed, it's if you win, you're in. That's it. For the ninth seed, you have to win 2 games. So if the Grizzlies beat the Trailblazers twice, they're in. They lock up the 8th seed. So that's kind of how the play-in works here, and I find it kind of interesting. I just found that out last night on NBA TNT last night, so that's what I was watching. And so Damian Lillard has been going off for 60 points. He's been the catalyst for that offense. CJ McCollum, he's had some back issues, but last night he really stepped up. I watched him in an interview, and he was like, I don't really make excuses for my back. I just go out and try to perform and do the best I can. And that man's dealing with a rough injury right now, and before the interview, he had sat very gingerly and was taking it very easy and not getting too rough with it. So it's the type of injury where he has to rest, and sadly he's not getting he can't really rest a whole lot because the NBA playoffs are just right around the corner, and his team needs him, and they need him. And so Portland's going to be really busy here soon. So I go on to assume that Portland will win out, but the thing I saw on Instagram, and I thought this stat was kind of cool. Damian Lillard entered in with the conversation with Wilt Chamberlain for the first player to have 60 points multiple times in a season with 5 rebounds and 5 assists in each of those games. And Wilt Chamberlain is the only other player to do that. I found that really cool. And Damian Lillard last night, he dropped 42 points, 12 assists. He was balling, and he had to get others involved because he was getting double teamed before he even reached half court. So it was just like all night that was kind of going on, and even then he still went off for 42. I mean, that's the man is putting up NBA 2K type numbers, and he's just going off. So I really hope that Portland does well, and I think he is the best point guard right now in the bubble, and I can't think of a point guard right now better than him inside the bubble. So because Steph Curry's not there, Um, they're back in Oakland or in San Francisco, I guess, but they're not participating in the bubble. It would be the Warriors, but the Warriors are not in the bubble. They're back in San Francisco. So right now the playoffs are pretty much set in motion here. It will be, I believe, after Sunday, the playoffs will start off right away. And I gotta look some of this up, so bear with me. But I know I'm for the East. Orlando is going to face the Bucks in the first round. The Bucks are the 1 seed. Orlando's the 8th seed. The 4 and 5 seeds are the Heat and the Magic. And 3 and 6 are the Boston Celtics and the 76ers. The 2 and 7 is Toronto and the Brooklyn Nets. And so that is the 8th seed. The Western Conference, the dark horse in the Western Conference is kind of the Portland Trailblazers, but if you want to have another dark horse, it would be the Houston Rockets, because as long as Russell Westbrook is healthy, Russell Westbrook will miss the first round of the playoffs due to not, I believe it's a hamstring, but he's out the first round of the playoffs due to injury, and he'll be back for the second round. Well, the Rockets will face the Thunder in the first round. That's not an easy matchup, and that will be fun to watch. That's CP3's revenge series, because he got traded from the Rockets last year to the Thunder for Russell Westbrook. So that series will be fun to watch. I think the Rockets will get the Thunder, but it'll be a great series. So the Lakers will play whoever wins the 8th seed. So they'll either play Portland or the Grizzlies. Most likely it'll be Portland. And the Clippers face the Mavericks, 2 and 7. The Nuggets are the 3rd seed. The Jazz are the 6th. And like I just said, the Thunder and Rockets are the 4 and 5 seeds. And usually in the playoffs, and usually if this was a regular playoffs, home court advantage would matter. And I probably think the Suns would have actually made the playoffs if they had one more game, because the Suns really gave it their all this season, and there's so many unpredictabilities, just kind of with this work shortage and stoppage, and you can only say what if with the Suns at this point, because that the Suns really have a bright future ahead. I think they are a team that we can't sleep on in the future, because they really just showed and matured and put the world on notice. Hey, we're here. Don't count us out. We want your respect. And they had been saying in the bubble, they hadn't been getting treated with respect like they thought that they should, and well, now they got it, getting 8-0 in the bubble and barely missing the playoffs. I mean, congrats to them. I would have really liked to see them play it out for the 9th seed, but yeah. So I'm gonna give you my predictions for the first round, with each conference and with who advances, and I'll come back on my next podcast and we'll intervene and come back. But I'll start with the Eastern Conference. The Bucks and the Orlando Magic. The Bucks will probably win it in 4 games. Giannis actually got suspended for headbutting Moritz Wagner. That was silly, but he basically helped give the Grizzlies a W in their last seeding game and clinched the potential play-in seed, whether that be the 8th seed or the 9th seed. And the Suns won yesterday, and they were really banking on the Portland Trailblazers losing. And, well, obviously, Portland Trailblazers won. That knocks the Suns out of the playoffs. So that it created drama in the West. So you see how one player not playing created drama in the league. So the next is the Raptors and Nets. I say the Raptors in 5. I really think the Nets will at least get 1 win, and that's about it. Celtics and 76ers. The Celtics should win this in 5 as well. The 76ers don't have Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is gone for the remainder of the playoffs. He's getting surgery on his knee, so he'll be gone. And I don't think they just have enough help for Joel Embiid to do anything in the first round, and they get 1 game, I'm guessing, and that's it. Heat and Pacers, that could go 7 if TJ Warren is healthy. TJ Warren was not healthy, so that the most recent game that the Heat and Pacers played in the bubble, the Heat won easily, but that could go 7 if TJ Warren gets healthy. Otherwise, if not, they'll win in 5. The Heat will win in 5. All right. And in the West, I think ultimately the Portland Trailblazers will get in. I love my Grizzlies, but I think the Portland Trailblazers will get in, and they'll face the Lakers in the first round. The Lakers will win in 7. It will go, I think, 7 games because that offense is really high-powered, and it'll just be one of those games where it'll be one of those series where the Lakers will get one, Portland will get the other. Lakers will get one, Portland will get the other. And it'll keep going back and forth. And in Orlando, in all 3 gyms that they have set up, and I've been watching and hearing this from the players. Those gyms are like shooter gyms. Like, it's dark enough where, and there's like really not a whole lot of sound that they're hearing, and it's just kind of like you're in an empty gym, and that's what they practically are in anyways. So it's like pulling up to a court and at night and just like have a free for all, and it's practically one of those gyms, and that's why I totally understand why Damian Lillard has gone off for 60. It's been putting up 2K numbers, but I understand why, because I was like, I guess they're also, as players, they're probably not feeling the pressure of the crowd as well, because fans would normally be in attendance. Well, they don't feel the pressure from the crowd because they can't really hear the crowd whenever they're playing, because they're locked in, ready to go, playing in the game. So, but yeah, I can understand, and that would probably be a cool feeling. So, all right, and so that would be the first round for the Lakers and Trailblazers. Um, Clippers and Mavericks. I would say that goes 6 games. Um, Luka Doncic and uh, Kristaps Porzingis can give the Clippers a run for their money. I'd say 6 to 7 games. 7 games is max, but probably 6 games. I can see the Mavericks getting in a couple games and then the Clippers just taking over. The Nuggets and Jazz. I would say also 6. It those are two competitive. All of these teams are like really close in record if you look at these standings here, and like they're all like super good. Just like one loss can like take you from the 4th seed to the 7th seed. So that's how close it is. So um yeah, that's man. I say 6 to 7 games. Um, and for the Rockets and Jazz, that's definitely going 7. It's going to come down to the wire because the Rockets don't have Russell Westbrook. Um, and what Russell Westbrook does is he attacks the basket, but he gets others involved, and James he gets others involved too, but he does a lot of ISO and uh, ISO situations, and it's kind of more on Russell Westbrook and him to get the others involved, and uh, so man, these are all really close. But yeah, those are my pre predictions. See if I get close to any of those, or if I hit them right on the mark. I'll I'll come back and do a recap on it. But man, those were I think those all those series will be close for the majority of the part. Besides the Bucks and the Celtics, those series in the East should be easy for those teams. But yeah, those are my pre predictions. We'll come back and talk about them in the future. And so now I guess we're gonna go ahead and transition into the Chiefs draft. I hadn't had a chance to talk about it on my last podcast. I wanted to do a quick overview on it, give my thoughts on it, and take it from there. So the Chiefs, we drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round. He's a running back out of LSU who just came off a national championship, and so he's fresh off a win, coming into a winning organization. I mean, it was we were in one of those positions where we kept all our starters pretty much for the most part. We lost a couple guys, but I mean, those weren't major pieces. It wasn't like we lost a Travis Kelce or a Tyreek Hill. It was kind of, and it was a couple guys on the defense, a good role players per se. So role players that could easily be replaced. So we're not missing a whole lot. So we were kind of in the driver's seat of, do we want to go offense or do we want to go defense? And could we want to make our offense better? Sure, why not? If we want to make our defense better, sure, why not? It was one of those wild card situations. What do you want to pick, offense or defense? And I think we let Patrick Mahomes decide, you want offense or defense? And I think he said, give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And they were like, sure, why not? So that's who we picked, and he's going to be really good. He's going to be like the Brian Westbrook from the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be one of these offenses where it's going to be high powered, and obviously the offense isn't going to take a step down from last year, but we didn't lose anybody. But I mean, the only where we can go is up, honestly. So improve on it. So why not? So there will be a high-powered offense in Kansas City. Um, and then defensively, we picked up a couple guys. Willie Gay Jr. He's a linebacker out of Mississippi State. He fell in this draft to, I believe, like the 4th round is when we picked him up, and he's like a wild card because he's a really good player, but he had a history, or not a history, but he had a bad attitude, and that's kind of why, and bad. I assume bad character, but he is given the benefit of the doubt here by the Chiefs, and the Chiefs think that they can build him up. That's the same thing with Tyreek Hill when they drafted him, seeing talent and drafting talent. That's what they really liked in Willie Gay Jr., and he's a versatile linebacker. I think the type of close to compare to Derek Johnson, if you know that name. He's going to be like that. He's going to be all over the linebacking core. He's going to be everywhere in that in the box. So he could rush the quarterback. He can stop the run. He can pretty much do it all. So it'll be really fun to watch all of this. And I know that we got a cornerback, Sneed, Ladarius Sneed, I believe that's what his name is, and cornerback. I think that will be really good because we lost one. He'll be a developmental type cornerback, so I don't really expecting him to start right away. I think he was a 3rd round pick, and yeah, all these guys that we've been drafting overall have been really great, and I'm really liking the position the Chiefs are in right now, and I'm actually going through these. So Willie Gay Jr. actually was a 2nd round pick, and I'm actually scrolling through these right now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 1st round pick. Chiefs 2nd round pick was Willie Gay Jr. 3rd round, Lucas Niang, offensive tackle. Ladarius Sneed, defensive back. He's actually the 4th round pick. Louisiana Tech. 5th round pick, Michael Donna, defensive end, Michigan. And 7th round pick, Thacarius Caius, cornerback out of Tulane. So they gave all these guys kind of B and C grades. Overall, I think this was kind of like a B plus draft because honestly, like we got all the areas. Unlike the Packers, we got all the things that we needed, and the needs weren't really all that much because we just obviously came off a Super Bowl win, and obviously like we're in the driver's seat to run it back. It's the run it back season for the Chiefs, so we're in the position now where we can run things back, and we could probably win it again. So this upcoming NFL season is going to be interesting because of COVID. They haven't really announced if they're doing a bubble or not, so we shall see. Some people think that the NFL season won't even get off the ground. I'm just going to say we're going to have to sit back and watch and see how this all plays out. If they get 300 positives like the MLB, and the MLB is actually saying we're trucking full force ahead, and I don't know how they're gonna make up all those uh, postponement games. It's like every day I see a postponement game from MLB, but they have so many games to make up there. But I just say just cancel it. If you're if you're the NFL, if you have so many tests to the point where you don't have backups, I, if it's just like one or two COVID tests that test positive, and nobody else tests positive, I say just remove those two players, if and continue on with the game, and watch that be like somebody like a Patrick Mahomes or a Travis Kelsey or both, and then obviously I would say, well, cancel the game, but usually just go ahead and play the game. And same thing with the MLB. If you only got just a couple of positive tests, you should have more than enough staff or enough players there that you can still continue a game. If you still got like a game scheduled on that day, just like continue the game. Just come on, like don't postpone the games because now we got to make up other games. Like the Marlins, they got to make up so many games. The Cardinals are making up games. There are so many game postponement games that they have to make up, and that they dug the hole, and they're digging their own grave as we speak. So that's my thoughts on the MLB. I think that they're digging their own grave. So that's kind of it, guys, today. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I post everywhere, so I post on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you guys like to hear. I'm on multiple platforms, so leave comments, like, subscribe. I like to get feedback from you guys, so if you can give me some feedback on how I'm doing, give me some topics that you would like to hear, and hear me talk about. I'm open to suggestions here, so thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.